All right, everybody, get ready. Because we are going way, way back in time for this deep dive.
Definitely way back.
We're not just talking about dinosaurs here. We're talking about the Cambrian Period.
Oh,
Over
wow.
500 million years ago.
That is a long time ago.
It is. And we're going to find out if a modern human could actually survive back then during this wild time called the Cambrian Explosion. Think you'd make it? I don't know.
I don't know either. It's a tough one. Just imagine like stepping out of a time machine and the first thing you notice is the air. It's thin. Like you're way up high on a mountain. Breathable, but you're gasping.
Not the best welcome. I am guessing it gets a little bit wilder, though.
Just a little.
From the sounds of this article, the Cambrian world was intense.
That is one word for it. Intense. Try to imagine a world where there are absolutely no landscapes like we're used to. No forests, no flowers. There aren't even animals on the land.
Oh, wow.
It's just these huge, huge stretches of rock and sediment.
So you get off the time machine, and you're immediately gasping for air. And there's nothing around.
Yeah, alien is a good word for it. Definitely alien.
Definitely alien. Even though there is oxygen, it's just not what we're used to.
It would take some getting used to, that's for sure.
So the article talks about the oceans and how that was where all the action was. What kind of creatures would we be dealing with in the water?
Well, you'd need some serious scuba gear, that's for sure. Because, we're going back a long way.
A little before our time.
Yeah, just a little. Now, picture yourself, you're in the water and you see an Anomalocaris. And this is not your average shrimp, right?
This is like a horror movie.
I was going to say.
This article had mentioned these claws, right?
This thing was a predator. Like the top of the food chain. Almost a meter long. Can you believe that?
That is a big shrimp.
Yeah. I mean, imagine a shrimp that big coming at you. And they had these spiny appendages to grab their prey. They had these crazy eyes, too. Some of them were really complex, actually.
So this wasn't just a big dumb shrimp.
Oh, no, not at all.
This thing was smart.
Definitely not dumb.
And it's coming for you in the Cambrian period.
Yeah, it's like a shrimp crossed with a squid, and then you threw in, like, a velociraptor for good measure.
That is terrifying. Oh, my gosh. Okay. I'm officially creeped out. And it wasn't alone down there, right? The article mentioned, like, these squid-like creatures, too?
Yeah, early cephalopods, like the great-great-great-great-grandparents of squid and octopus.
Yeah.
And they were already pretty diverse even back then. Some were tiny, probably Anomalocaris food, to be honest.
Oh, man.
But, some were starting to get bigger and a little scarier.
So how would we even eat? I mean, what would a time-traveling human eat back in the Cambrian?
That is the question, isn't it? It would be a very limited menu. And you would have to hope that you didn't get eaten first.
I'm thinking all raw Anomalocaris all the time is not the best diet.
No, not very sustainable.
I think I'll stick with my grocery store sushi. Although that does bring up a good point, though, right? It wasn't just new life that was appearing. It was like a whole new way of existing back then.
I've never thought of it like that before, but you're right. It's like the Cambrian Explosion invented being a predator.
Oh, wow.
These creatures, they weren't just content to filter food anymore. They were hunting each other. They had to develop new senses, new ways to move, new ways to defend themselves. I mean, it was a whole new ball game.
So not only do you have to find food, you have to make sure you don't become someone else's lunch.
Exactly.
That's high stakes. So aside from the giant shrimp, what other dangers were lurking around back in the Cambrian?
Well, remember that thin air we were talking about?
Yeah.
Well, the ozone layer wasn't really a thing yet. So, imagine the worst sunburn ever.
Oh, no. Oh, okay.
Because that's basically what you would get.
I am thinking SPF 1000 is not going to cut it.
I don't think they had SPF 1000 back then.
They did not. Were there any other challenges?
Let's see. Oh, I know volcanoes.
Yeah.
Lots and lots of volcanoes.
Oh.
And storms, huge storms. And don't forget about erosion. Finding any kind of shelter would be like winning the lottery, but there was no land, so...
So you're a sitting duck.
Basically.
A very, very sunburnt sitting duck.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so I'm definitely feeling grateful for a roof over my head right now and a good grocery store.
As you should.
Yeah. But seriously, this is all fascinating, right?
Yeah.
But why does any of this matter to us? It was millions of years ago. We've evolved.
You'd be surprised.
I would.
It's more relevant than you think. It's not just cool fossils we're talking about here.
So this is about us, like where we come from.
Exactly. It all goes back to the Cambrian. Even humans. Remember that little guy from the article, Pikaia?
Pikaia, yeah. Wasn't that like an eel thing?
Yeah, like a tiny little eel swimming around with all those crazy predators.
Sounds like a rough way to make a living.
No kidding. But here's the thing. Pikaia had this thing, a notochord.
Okay, I'm gonna need you to back up for a second. What's a notochord?
Think of it like a pre-backbone.
A pre-backbone.
Yeah, like a flexible rod that gives the body support.
Okay.
And Pikaia, with its little notochord, is considered an early ancestor of all vertebrates.
Wait, all vertebrates?
All vertebrates.
So that's fish,
Fish, dinosaurs.
dinosaurs.
Even us.
Whoa.
Pretty crazy, right?
Yeah, that is crazy. So, like, while Anomalocaris is out there hunting,
Terrorizing the neighborhood.
exactly, our distant relatives are just trying to survive.
Just trying to make it, yeah.
It's like we're all connected to this.
We are. It shows just how wild the Cambrian explosion really was. It wasn't just new life. It was a time of crazy experimentation. These creatures were evolving at an incredible pace.
I mean, did they ever?
New bodies, new senses, new ways of moving. It's like evolution was just trying everything out to see what stuck.
So what you're saying is the world today could look totally different.
Exactly. Like, what if, instead of humans, what if cephalopods had taken over?
Wait, like squid?
Squid, octopuses,
A world run by super smart squid.
were already evolving complex nervous systems back then.
And camouflage, right? They could do that crazy camouflage.
Exactly.
Okay, that is an alternate history I would watch.
Right. It really makes you think about how evolution works. It's not a straight line, that's for sure. More like a tree with branches going every which way.
Some branches lead to us, and some branches lead to giant squid overlords.
Something like that.
This is amazing.
It really is incredible when you think about it.
It is. So, I gotta ask, if we did hop in a time machine back to the Cambrian, how long do you think we'd last?
Honestly, not long.
I have a feeling you're about to crush my dreams here.
It's not about dreams, it's just about being realistic. We talked about the lack of food, that crazy sun, and oh yeah, all the predators in the water. But even if we somehow manage to avoid all that, we have to remember our own biology.
So all those survival shows I've been watching,
Yeah.
useless in the Cambrian.
Let's just say those shows didn't have an Anomalocaris or a sun that could give you a sunburn in like 5 minutes.
True. Very true. This has been an amazing journey, though, I have to say. We explored this insane world, met some creatures I never even imagined. But what's the takeaway for those of us listening, those of us who are happy to keep the Cambrian period at a safe distance?
It's about perspective, right?
Okay.
The Cambrian explosion, it was a huge turning point for life, for the planet, for everything. It reminds us that our planet, Earth, is capable of incredible change.
It really puts things in perspective.
It does, and we can't forget about the interconnectedness of it all. As weird as they seem, those Cambrian creatures, they were the start. Everything we see today, it goes back to them.
Even us.
Especially us, right?
I mean, it's kind of mind-blowing.
It really is, and
Yeah.
it gets you thinking about what's next.
What you mean, like what's going to happen in the future?
Yeah, just like those Cambrian critters, we're evolving too, adapting to a changing world. Who knows what's in store for life on Earth?
I guess we'll have to wait and see. Well, on that note of cosmic wonder and, being very thankful that I live in the present, I think we're going to wrap up this deep dive. Thank you for joining us on this journey back to the Cambrian explosion. It's definitely been a wild ride and a good reminder that even in the most alien of worlds, there are still connections to us and a whole lot of awe for the power of life on Earth. Until next time.